Okay, so this video, we're going to continue to look at secant tangent relationships, but now we're going to focus on the arcs. So I've got a little typo in here. It says 2 scenarios for secant tangent angles. All I got to do is change that to arcs. Okay, the rules stay the same. I got to focus on the vertex on or vertex out. All right, and then in this case, I'm going to be doing the exact same steps. So let's just jump right in and see how this is a little bit different. Okay, now in this particular problem, the first thing I want you to see is now they've got the question mark on the arc. Now there's a couple of different ways that I can do this problem. One way that I could do it would be to find this arc first, okay, arc BC here first, and then subtract that from 360. That will work to find the question mark. But I'm going to try a little bit different approach based on prior knowledge about adjacent supplementary angles. I know that 64 plus some angle over here has to give me 180 degrees. So I'm going to start off by taking 180 minus 64. All right, and when I subtract that, that gives me 116. I know that this angle is 116. This is the angle for this arc. So now I'm ready to find the arc. I know that the angle is equal to half the arc. So I'm going to put a question mark there. We could put X there, whatever you want to do. And now to solve for the question mark, we got to take 116, or the other way to look at the formula, 2 times the angle is equal to the arc. If I take 2 times 16, I know that the arc in this case will be 232 degrees. So remember, we're not learning anything new. We're just looking at the missing piece being something different. So if you understood the secant tangent angles, secant tangent arcs should be a piece of cake. Let's take a look at this scenario. Now in this case, I've got the angle, vertex is on. I know that its intercepted arc is what they are asking me to find. So what do I know? I know that 2 times the angle is equal to the arc. So then therefore the arc would be 104 degrees. Sometimes, guys, yes, it could be this easy. All right, take a look at this next scenario now. All right, there's my missing piece. I've got a vertex out. Vertex out tells me I'm going to have 1, 2 intercepted arcs. All right, so let's write down the rule that we know. We know that the angle, 55, is equal to half of the big arc, which I'm going to go ahead and call this X. The big arc minus the small arc. How do I get rid of that 1/2? I'm going to double the other side, so 110 is equal to X minus 84. I'm going to add 84 to both sides, and I get X is equal to 194 degrees. Okay, let's take a look at this scenario now. I see the vertex is out. If the vertex is out, there should be a big arc and a little arc. There are. They want me to find the little arc. So what do I know? I know that the angle is equal to half of the big arc minus the little arc. So how do I get rid of the 1/2? I double the other side. So 90 is equal to 158 minus X. Be careful of your signs here. If I take 90 minus 158, I get negative 68 is equal to negative X, which means that X would be equal to positive 68 degrees. Okay? So now they're going to throw variable expressions in here. All right, let's take a look at the first scenario. All right, here's the variable X. So what I need to know here is this arc, and I need to know this angle right at Q. Well, I know that 180 minus 58 would be equal to 122, which would be that angle with the vertex on. I know that the angle 122 is equal to half of the arc. The arc here is 81x plus 1. I'm going to double 122, so I have 244 is equal to 81x plus 1. I'm going to subtract 1, so 243 is equal to 81x. And if I divide by 81, I get x is equal to 3. All right? Again, the whole key is being able to set up the correct equation to solve. It's not that difficult. All right, let's take a look at this one. I see the vertex is out. I see the x part right in here, which is the little arc. If the vertex is out, we have a little arc and a big arc. That's enough to write my equation. I've got the angle is equal to half of big arc, 167. Now watch how I write this. I have to subtract the small arc. So I'm going to say minus 1x minus 71. I have to subtract both the pieces of that smaller arc. I'm going to double 48, which gives me 96 is equal to, let's see, 167 minus 71. 167 minus 71 is 96 minus 1x. If I subtract this 96, I get 0 is equal to negative 1x. And if I take 0 divided by negative 1, I get x is equal to 0. All right, last example here. Vertex is out, which tells me I have 2 arcs. I know that the angle, in this case, 7x plus 11, is equal to half of big arc. The big arc here would be 24x plus 15 minus the little arc, minus 73. All right, got some work to do here. So I want to double the 7x plus 11 to get rid of that 1/2. So let's write it out. 2 times 7x plus 11. And on the right side, I've got 24x. And if I take 15 minus 73, I get negative 58. I'm going to distribute, so 14x plus 22 is equal to 24x minus 58. I'm going to choose to move that 14x over to the right. So that would leave me with 22 is equal to, subtract 14x, that would be 10x minus 58. I'm going to add 58 to both sides, so that would be 80 is equal to 10x. Divide both sides by 10, and I get x is equal to 8. I hope this helps. Let me know if you guys have any questions. Good luck.